Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, non-binary pals, and the Technicolor rainbow in between, this is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Chris Boingo Rider Gaston, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner in this endeavor.
The vacuuminator telling you to fucking fix Winston. He's falling over.
You mother... God damn it, you son of a bitch.
I can't help it. I'm OCD. I notice things like that.
I mean, Dana Barrett's also fallen over.
Well, I didn't see that. That wasn't in the angle when you first cut in there.
And my SH Fig Arts Red Tyranno Ranger is leaning, but he's standing up straight.
Well, if they're standing, if they're on both feet, it's fine.
Yeah, hold on. Cars are good.
Do you employ any techniques, or do you just hope boys stand up in cool poses?
I What I do is I pose, put the legs out where I think the center of gravity would be, and then I just take a table and just jam their feet until they're flat, let go, and go like, all right, cool. Poke it once or twice, and go like, all right, cool. Grab by the torso, put it where I want it.
Yeah, I'll usually do that. And then sometime like once I've got a whole shelf set up, I'll do a jump test, just like jump a few feet away from the shelf to see if it'll hold up from a good shake. And occasionally if I have a pose I really, really want that I notice with time the figure is leaning in, I'll use some sticky tack on the feet.
Right.
Like Dr. Doom back there has got some sticky tack on his feet.
The only ones I don't do that for is like the way I have Phoenix is because he has a very large foundation that I put him in since he's on his
Mhm.
knees.
Yeah. Any kind of tripod-esque pose I know tends to work out fine. Like, um, as much as I hate the stock tentacles on Doc Ock, they tend to hold him up pretty well just because they all sort of go towards the ground.
or like or like if I have like one of these guys, like this little Shoto Trunks, it comes with a little flesh-colored foot stand, so you can put
Nice.
It's the same molded plastic, so it's just easy for them. But I just find it
Yeah,
hilarious that it's flesh-colored, like the Colonials, because all tomorrows is a meme right now. Got to be hot and topical.
that's this podcast, hot and topical. We're always right on the cutting edge of news, like talking about shit that happened at the beginning of the fucking week.
That's just
Um,
gonna be more and more apparent as we start talking about last week's Rampage.
yeah. Oh god, I just realized that's gonna be our opening segment from now on. We're gonna fucking bookend with AEW TV shows.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go over this real quick, I guess. Was it on Sunday or Monday that this
I
happened?
think it was Monday. I think it was Monday because there was also a lot of talks about Raw and NXT's disappointment all at the same time.
Yeah, okay, because a bunch of NXT talent got released from WWE this week. There was a lot of names, but the ones that I think are notable to us were Mercedes Martinez, Bobby Fish, Bronson Reed, and Kona Reeves. Mercedes Martinez has actually made a couple of appearances on AEW Dynamite. She was an independent talent for a long time, and it seemed like both companies had interest in her. WWE just ended up to being the first one that made her an offer. And if you remember, if anybody remembers at this point, she was in Retribution, so you know that whole deal worked out great for her. Um, Bobby Fish, obviously one of the key members of the Undisputed Era, now gone, like right in the middle of them trying to negotiate a new contract with Adam Cole. Ugh, fucking
Oh,
stellar work there, boys.
it it it's it is so fucking strange. All the
Mhm.
choices they've been making lately.
Um, Bronson Reed, not a guy I'm super familiar with. I've seen a couple of his matches, but he was North American champion as early as like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Um, So really sucks to see that. And apparently he released a very emotional video, just talking about the news and his plans for the future. And then Kona Reeves, not a guy I was ever super into, but he was all over NXT for a while back there when I was just getting into it. And
Hmm.
I wasn't super into him, but I liked his character fair enough. I thought he was a great mid-card
He
talent.
was NXT's Miz.
Hmm. He was he's just a really solid talent, and it sucks to see all these people and more go. Especially because it comes along with the rumor going around now that like Vince is now very definitively saying NXT is developmental and we're reworking how that works. And like the apparently the edict from on high to NXT right now is no more guys over 30, no more skinny short guys. They want big guys like former NFL dudes who they can potentially make main roster stars, which really sucks because that means a lot of people are going to be losing their jobs. Like, not just these people. We're probably going to see another 2 or 3 rounds of cuts from NXT, I think.
Yep,
Um,
and that's just gonna, and that just means the NXT is also gonna be gutted booking wise because look at what Shawn and Triple H love to book.
Mhm. Like I was literally listening to an episode of this show from like 2 or 3 weeks ago while I was at work today, and we were talking about
You
all
goddamn
the.
narcissist.
I just like to see how we're doing. I like to judge the work back, and also I need shit to pass the time. Anyway, um, we were talking about the SDCC Mattel reveals, and there was a point where I said, "Oh, hey, Kushida's getting a new figure," and present me went, oh fuck! How much longer does Kushida have? Because Kushida is a small, skinny guy in his late 30s.
Yep. But hey, he
Um,
has a place back in New Japan. That's the big thing
that
with a lot of these releases. It's not like they're being released with nothing. They
Yep.
have the WWE cred, they have the experience, they have some money saved up, hopefully, and like Bobby Fish, dude can easily go back to AEW. I mean, he could go to AEW, go to Ring of Honor, he could go tour Japan, tear it up in England, anywhere. He is capable of making his money. He is not shit lost in a wood. You know.
Very true. Very true. But also the thing I want to say on top of all this is like, even though it is a sucky situation and a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, potentially even their dream jobs for some of these people, um, I think this has been a long time coming because back when you and I were actually actively into NXT, we used to joke all the time about how, like, yo, Hunter's doing a great job making wrestling that he likes and we like, but, like, he doesn't know how to hire people for bits.
Yeah, that's always been the biggest problem because what NXT has been is basically Triple H seeding his future WWE. Because he was going like, oh no, it's going to be any day soon, dating that now, where I just take over WWE and then I'll have my roster. I'll have my roster, and that day just never happened.
Yeah, that day is like perpetually that day is like a fucking Mayfex figure, dude. They solicit it, they say it's coming out this month, and then you get to a week before that month starts and they say actually it's coming out 3 months from now. And then that process repeats and repeats like 5 times.
But like that's what NXT's felt like. It's very much it was all right, guys. Let's build my team up for next year. I mean, the year after that. I mean,
I mean 5 years from now?
no, it's this year. It's this. No, he's not retiring yet. Fuck.
I mean, we've talked about this to death, but basically at this point, even though there's been rumors in the last year of Vince possibly getting ready to sell the company, the man didn't quit working during a pandemic when he had every opportunity to shut down operations for a few months. I think he's gonna die in a second.
Yeah. And from everything we've seen, he tries to be a healthy individual. So
Mhm. Like he's, I think he's either 75 or 76 now. When he was 70, he was on the cover of Men's Fitness.
the only way I can see Vince ever being forced to step down is if investors and stockholders say like, "Hey, knock it off." And even
But
then, not gonna
that's not
happen.
going to happen because all those people don't know shit about wrestling, so they just implicitly trust him.
No, no,
He
no.
can
That's not the reason it won't happen. The reason it won't happen is stock prices are still rising and investors are getting their investments back. For all intents and purposes, WWE is a success.
their ratings can plummet and plummet, and as long as they have those big TV contracts and the investors, they're fine.
Yeah.
Which, that's what's been happening for like the last 2 or 3 years, and it'll probably continue to happen.
The only time it won't happen is when the networks are unhappy with the product they are receiving, which might be sooner rather than later, considering the ratings that Dynamite has been going through and basically showing no, wrestling can be go to television repeatedly and can grow.
Mm. I mean, they've cracked 1 million a couple times now, and they almost did it this week. And like, in all honesty, I don't want them to, but I think if they decided to go to Monday nights, Dynamite would handedly beat Raw.
To an extent, yeah, sure, but like that's not the point. The point is like networks have had to work with WWE and their ratings for like years now, and they've only been using WWE numbers. But now that there's this other thing going on right over here, same time frame, same demographics, same product, same all these different things, and it's not only catching up and being steady in ratings, but it is growing. It's not decreasing like any like our the WWE shows. It is growing. That shows that like okay, something's going on here because this other product is doing what you said you couldn't do.
Definitely. Um, and speaking of doing things that another company is doing way better, um, we have a update on the WWE Ultimate Edition New Generation Arena crowdfunding project, which is that they have now changed the billing to it's not up front. It is you will be charged at the end of the month when the project is supposedly finished, when backing opening closes, when you can
Right.
no longer back, that's when you'll be charged like HasLab does. And the other thing is they have now added an early bird exclusive, the Macho Madness Announcers Pack, which is Macho Man in his WrestleMania 10 slash premiere episode of Raw gear, and an announcer's table with a cloth skirt, microphones, a headset, two monitors, and chairs. Um, and they've also clarified how the bonus goals work. Which, if I can open this up real quick, the actual project page. So the current target is 5,000 backers, and with 9 days left, they have currently reached 70%, which is 3,532 backers. And for reminder, the basic package is for $250, you get the Ultimate Edition ring with the cloth ring skirts and canvas that you can peel back to reveal boards, the cloth turnbuckles and ropes, the ring steps, the Ultimate Edition Diesel, and the new generation era entrance. And if you back the project before it is fully funded, that is how you get the Macho Madness Announcers Pack. Um, Now, the bonus goals are if it reaches 7,000 backers, they will also throw in an Ultimate Edition Doink the Clown. And if it reaches 8,000 backers, there will be two additional ring skirts, one for WrestleMania and one for in your house. Um, Now, this might sound pretty impressive if you've not done crowdfunding projects before, but okay, I'm going to go on a bit of a tear here because this is a rant I've been holding back for a while. Because with me being back to being a toy reviewer now, I've tried to be genuinely fair and kind of even mannered and have a sort of fair decorum towards a lot of companies. But the thing is, I've never liked Mattel. I've always thought that Mattel is like Mattel and WWE are a perfect marriage because Mattel is one of the most complacent toy companies out there. Because as long as Barbie and Hot Wheels are doing gangbusters, they don't care what advances other companies are doing. Look at you look at a GI Joe Classified or a current Marvel Legends next to a WWE Elite Collection figure, that figure looks like a fucking joke because the detailing is way behind, the face printing is not nearly as good, and the articulation, it's missing like a shit ton of articulation compared to the modern standard Hasbro is setting with those lines. And you know, there's always plenty of opportunities for people to accuse me of Hasbro favoritism, but yeah, I do have that. But then, like, look at Jazzwares. Look at McFarlane. McFarlane, a company that 10 years ago people used to constantly joke they just make statues with with minor articulation.
Right.
All those companies are doing way better than Mattel right now.
And that's
And
just
it's
American companies, because if you also include stuff like Bandai, Bandai of
Medicom,
Japan, Medicom, Good Smile,
uh, Mezco, freaking and like yeah, some of that is higher end stuff, but like there's
Bandai
still all
makes
these
Bandai makes $10-15 toys, which are still really good and posable.
Mhm. And
Like
there's
the
all these advances being made in action figure engineering right now. And Mattel has to be dragged kicking and screaming to make those updates to the point where when they finally implement butterfly joints and frickin' ankle tilts, they make a whole new subline for it and charge 10 more dollars than the other guys do.
I mean, if we're honest, look at how much they've just been trying to do the base minimum with He-Man stuff. It's just like, hey, here's He-Man, here's the old He-Man stuff. Here,
Yeah. Here here's here's fucking classic 5.5 articulate style figures, but now it has wrist, elbow, and knee joints. Oh wow, thank you, Mattel. This is so great. Um, granted, I haven't actually taken a good look at any of the Masterburst figures yet, but like the proportions and the scaling on those are super weird just from like what little I've seen. Um, and going back to WWE, compare this crowdfunding project, and granted it's their first one, so there should be a tiny bit of leeway allowed. But you compare this to what Hasbro has been doing with HasLab, because it's clearly just them going like, let's try and get in on some of that HasLab action. HasLab is doing these massive, massive scale figures of massive characters that feel like they totally justify their huge
I'm pulling
asking
up HasLab
prices.
so we can just talk, so we can just see about some of the things, because some of these are applicable to what they're doing, like the Star Wars Razor Crest, which is a playset.
Yeah, or to get into something that is 6-inch scale, because that's 3 3/4 inch scale, they did Jabba's sail barge.
Yep.
Jabba's whole ass sail barge. That's like I haven't seen one myself, but from everything I've heard, it's like as big as the fucking USS Flag. That thing's a damn coffee table. And you compare that to this ring, and it's like, yeah, a fully featured ring and a figure is nice, but like that's it. Oh, you're giving us an entrance an entrance curtain that's essentially a music box because I've heard it plays like a ton of entrance beams and has a bunch of like lights that are set to those entrance beams, which is cool, but it's not $250 cool. Like, if you wanted to get me in this project, you bump the price up another $50, and then you give the Macho Madness announcers pack as a standard thing, not an exclusive to people who are backing it before it's fully funded. And then in addition to that, you give me ring steps for every side. You give me an outside ring mat. You give me guardrails, and you give me a pop-up arena background. Like, if you're going to call this an arena, make it a fully featured arena, and like, hell, even include a timekeeper's tape.
Like, another thing on HasLab that's kind of similar, this fucking Hero Quest.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a classic board game. They wanted to do it again. All this kind of stuff. You know what they did? They could have just made the classic board game again and just like, hey, we're just doing this for a limited run. Here you go. They didn't. They took all of the papercraft building materials that were in the original board game and made them 3D plastic models.
Yeah. Like, say what you will about how much Hasbro prices stuff and like how their prices have been slowly creeping up every 5 years or so, and like the weird exclusivity they have with some sublines, but like you look at the actual product once it gets in your hand with Hasbro, every time you feel the full value there. With Mattel, the reason I cherry pick Mattel's WWE line above anything else, not just like there's certain looks and certain wrestlers I want above others, a lot of their figures turn out being subpar. And I have to go with the ones that I feel like even if this figure is subpar, it'll be something I really care about represented on my shelf, so it won't feel like as much of a downer to me. And like I've gone on tangent upon tangent on this podcast. I've multiple times like tried to shove in references to Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, and Smart Mark Sterling, the Major Wrestling Figure podcast guys. And like, granted, I don't have the nostalgia they do for the new generation era, but like, ever since this project launched, I have constantly had my timeline flooded by them retweeting people talking about this project and how it's totally worth the money and how we all need to back it and put up or shut up because if this one doesn't get funded, who knows if Mattel will ever do another one again? No, fuck you guys. I don't want this to get funded. I genuinely hope this does not get funded because Mattel needs to be taught a lesson that if they're not going to make a product that is not good enough, then people don't want to buy it.
But, I mean, what other than WWE does Mattel have? He-Man, Barbie, Hot Wheels. That's it, right?
I think they have a few other things, but I couldn't name them off the top of my head.
Yeah. I don't know.
They fucking had DC for a very long time. And then they got complacent. They didn't make advances in the figures. Well, Marvel Legends was making all these fucking advances. And what happened? McFarlane came out of nowhere and stole a license from them. And despite all my problems with the McFarlane DC line, they're still doing a way better job than Mattel ever did.
And your biggest problem isn't the toys on articulation, it's they aren't doing the figures you want right now.
Yeah, it's the character selection and it's the scale. They're too big to go with Marvel Legends.
They probably did that on purpose, though.
Yeah. Todd has all his figures in like this 7-inch scale because he wants all of his stuff to go together and nothing else. And like from a certain creator perspective, I can get that, but like as a collector, I want to be able to stand my Batman next to my Captain America sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is why I haven't This is something we'll get into more on No Prize this week. But like, I haven't made up my mind on which yet. But I basically decided, once I have spending money again, I probably will get into a DC collector's line, and it's either going to be Mayfex or 112 Collective, which is the Mezco line. Because yeah, those are expensive, but they're the right scale and they look way better, and they're
Yeah,
characters I want. Uh, but that's it's probably more than enough toy talk for 1 week.
true enough. But you got to talk some more because you got to tell me about BTE and Sammy Vlog.
Yeah, so this week we had BT 268 riding solo and Sammy Vlog Free 32 remembering our friend open bracket emotional close bracket. Um and yeah, I thought this was a pretty good week for both shows. We got a lot of fun little bits here and there on BT, nothing super notable up until the end though, when we find out what was on the CD Hangman left in the Dark Order layer. Um, and it's a ad for the Dark Order that he edited together himself and features footage from the entire Hangman and Dark Order storyline. It's like the easiest comparison I can make is it's basically an AMV for that storyline.
Nice.
Um, and it's really cute, really wholesome, and it's basically a faced version of the old Dark Order video packages we used to get that were like cult recruiting ads, if you remember those from like back in 2019. Um, it's really nice. It's really wholesome. I think AEW posted it as its own thing to their Twitter. So if anybody has been a fan of this storyline, I would highly recommend giving it a watch because it's just really nice and cute. Um, and then Sammy Vlog this week was just the funniest fucking thing I've seen out of wrestling in a while because the entire like opening 10 minutes out of this 20-minute vlog is a parody of the freaking Joey Ryan funeral on BTE. It's a funeral for Fuego because he blew up at the end of last week's episode. And there is so much hilarious shit just playing around with AEW stars and like their gimmicks and their interactions with Fuego on Sammy's vlog in the past. Like Dustin is a bawling mess. At one point, Lance Archer just walks in the frame and goes, "Why are you all sad? Everybody dies," and then walks
God
away.
damn it, you motherfuckers. That's too
It,
good.
yeah, it's
I
fan
love Nietzschean nihilist Lance Archer.
it's fantastic. I would highly recommend everybody check it out, especially because the rest of the vlog is Griff and Five going around trying to figure out who blew up Fuego, like just interrogating different people. And at the end of the vlog, they're confronted by QT Marshall, and he goes, "You guys are fucking idiots. Did you really have to look around? Of course it was me. Of course I blew up Fuego. I've hated Fuego for a year now. He's how my heel character started. Of course I'm the one that killed Fuego. You guys are complete idiots."
Did he
And then
literally say that?
yeah.
Shit.
And then they're like, "Well, thanks for admitting it, because now he can beat your ass." And then Fuego just comes in through a door and the vlog ends.
Nice.
So
Okay,
yeah,
just real quick.
really great Sammy vlog.
Over under. Fuego getting a contract?
I'd say it's 70-30 at this point.
Well, we've only been going on for a few minutes, and right now YouTube's not wanting to play nice. It's just not wanting to load all the stuff on my page. So, do we want to take a little breaky break, or should we just soldier on to AEW Dynamite?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's ignite the dynamite. You take the first seg though.
Okay, AEW Dynamite, and this, our year 2021, August 11th, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We open this show with a little MJF Wardlow promo because you gotta get the people hyped up for the main event. Saw a little promo. MJF is always good at a promo. Wardlow's
Mhm.
always good at making a mean face. Solid.
I love that. I can't believe we waited this long to have MJF do the have somebody eat an apple while they're talking so they look more like an asshole trope.
You
Like
know what would make him look more like an asshole?
what?
Eating a pear. Cause who the fuck eats a pear like an apple?
I do sometimes. Pears are
But you
good.
know what I'm saying? Like it's a purposeful choice. Because eating an apple, like everybody fucking apple's an easy go-to. But a pear, you have to be deliberately going like, I want to eat something in front of this person while talking to them.
Hmm.
You know?
I would like to see that. Um, that could potentially be a cool like twist on the trope at some point, but like that's just always been a thing in film of
Mm-hmm.
people eating apples while they're talking to look more like assholes. Like specifically, the first time I remember seeing it was in Star Trek '09.
Mm.
During the Kobayashi Maru sequence in that movie, Kirk is eating an apple the whole time. Um, and
Because I
like
think the big thing
I've
with an
always loved
apple
it.
is like it's a good juicy apple will get apple juice all over your hands and it's just sticky everywhere. So it's just
Mm.
like, why are you getting sticky everywhere, bud?
Also, you get that really loud crunch punctuating every sentence.
There was
So it just
I saw a good like video essay forever ago. I don't remember who it was by or what if it was how long it was or anything like that. But it was just basically how Quentin Tarantino uses food to showcase dominance in a scene.
Mhm.
Who's ever
Yeah.
eating is the one like I eat your food. That means I'm important.
Yeah.
And you see that in
Uh,
like Reservoir Dogs when Samuel L. Jackson goes like, "This is a mighty fine burger."
uh, and then just like the way the promo ended of like Wardlow trying to drop a one-liner, and then MJF turning to him and going like, "Oh, you're gonna beat him, are you? Like you did with Cody in the cage? Yeah, I remember shit, bitch. Get it done tonight, or there will be consequences." And then Wardlow's just like, "Fuck," and crushes the apple. That was so good.
Which is just a nice little use of foreshadowing of the apple, all that kind of the anger. Oh, it's good. It's good. Is good.
Mhm.
Do you
But
want to take the first match though?
yeah, let's get on to it. Your opening contest this evening on Dynamite is The Elite. God, it was great to hear the BT theme on Dynamite again. With Don Callis versus Dante Martin, Matt and Mike Seidel.
They see something in Dante.
Yeah, cause God, this was the freaking match of the night, dude. Like they started at the top and they didn't completely lose steam, but man, did we go down a level for the rest of the show.
This was a match that you would have on like a super A plus Dynamite, and you go like, oh yeah, no, this just adds to it. On this card, which is a B plus Dynamite, it's a solid Dynamite. It's an average Dynamite. It just shines a little bit more and makes it stick out just that little bit more.
Because man, the Seidels are good. Kenny and the Bucks are always fun, but like that fucking hot tag with Dante, dude.
God
Like
damn.
I was doing stuff and only kind of paying attention to the match, and then as soon as tagged in, it was like, oh, I'm full attention now for the rest of the episode. Thank you.
They see something in Dante. Dante is going to be like, if Jungle Boy, Darby Allen, like that whole crew is like AEW first generation, they're gearing Dante up to be second gen. Maybe third? I don't know. But like,
Now, is Dante the first person in AEW to counter out of the one-winged angel?
no,
Because
I think there's
he
been one
didn't
or
kick
two.
out, but he countered.
Yeah, which is a great way to like continue to protect the move, but also have people show like, oh no, they're really good. They can get out of it.
Mhm.
But no, just like Dante just being a slinky little bitch, jumping and going around everywhere. Matt and Mike Seidel just being like the classic veteran high flyer dudes. So many fucking jumping knee strikes. I loved all the
Yeah.
jumping knee strikes.
Oh man, the V triggers were on point this episode.
But also
Um,
Mike and Matt Seidel's fucking jumping knee strikes were fucking sick because it was just like I don't know how to describe it because Kenny's knee strikes always feel more horizontal to me. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
he uses it to get across the ring. Matt and Mike's felt very vertical. It was an uppercut with a knee.
Yeah. Um, and also Don Callis on commentary. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Um,
I love the
but
opening bit. It's like, with me here, it's a 6-man booth. What the fuck you talking about, Don? There's 4 of us. Well, I'm worth 4 of you. Don, that would make 7.
shut up. So good. But the match does eventually end when Kenny pins Dante after a one-winged angel into a three-legged BTE trigger, the new finisher.
I thought it was a BTV trigger.
Yeah, they later clarified that that's what it's called.
BTV.
And then after the match, Tony Schiavone came down to the ring and talked to the Elite, asking Don Callis a question. I forget what exactly he asked him, but basically it was set up for Christian Cage to come out and confront Kenny and have a little promo off with him and Don, especially including right at the beginning, they're like, hey, there's like 10 of us in here and one of you. Are you really this stupid? And he's like, no, I have a boy and his dinosaur with me. And then they come out, and that was such a great way to slam into the break.
Oh, yeah. And it was also, at this point, like, they confirmed it in the match, but they also confirmed, at All Out, we're getting Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but Tony Khan's not the only big executive backstage at Dynamite these days. Apparently, Christian ran into Scott D'Amore and got himself a shot at the Impact title, which is super awesome because I don't know if you know your Impact history, but Christian actually never held the Impact title.
Ooh.
He held the NWA championship when he was in Impact, and back then it was called TNA. So this is his first shot at it, and it's going to be the opening contest on Rampage tomorrow night, which is so exciting.
Yeah. My only concern is if Christian loses that if Christian loses clean, that puts a big well, I guess we know the ending of All Out then, I guess.
So I take it you didn't watch Wrestle Talk this week.
No, I didn't.
Ollie theorized, and I love this theory. I'm fully buying into it until after tomorrow night if things don't go this way. Christian's going to win the Impact title tomorrow night, and then All Out will be for all the marbles.
Okay, if they do that, yes.
Yeah, I would be super into that.
Yeah.
And we also got a nice bit of extra bump for your good wholesome Dino boys because next week on Dynamite, the Jurassic Express is getting a tag title shot with the Young Bucks.
Hell yeah.
I don't expect them to win, but I expect it to be a hell of a match.
It feels real quick before we continue. This episode feels like AEW went like, oh, people are saying the tag team division has slowed down because of all these different things. All right, here's all fucking tag team shit. Here's a bunch of tag team shit and a bunch of setup for tag team stuff. Here's tag team. Here you go.
No. What happened was Matt read on his way to the venue that people were saying the tag team division had slowed down. And as he was going into the Elite locker room, somebody was playing some ska. There was somebody going, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
God damn it.
But talk about your boy for a minute.
Malachi Black basically comes in and goes like, what, you thought I was a bitch? I did what I said I was do. Does that make me an evil man? No, it makes me a good man. Fuck you. I told the
Also, look
truth.
at this. Also, look at this boot I stole. Isn't this a nice boot? I stole it.
If I was in WWE, they'd make a joke about foot fetishism. But since I'm in AEW, we're not going that direction.
Mhm. Also, I love the frickin' sleeveless button-up shirt and vest look he had.
Oh.
That was weirdly badass.
Also, fucking speaking Dutch at the beginning of it. I was like, fuck yeah, I've never heard you speak Dutch on TV. I love it.
Mhm. Uh, but after that little bit of awesomeness, we get a little bit of more awesomeness because we get a Miro video package where he reiterates the same things over and over again. You know, he's God's favorite champion. He practices forgiveness. He's got a flexible wife, and he reveals that his next opponent for the TNT Championship on the first episode of Rampage, he'll be squashing the shit out of Fuego del Sol.
Damn. Sadness.
Uh,
But real quick, real quick, did you notice something about these two promos put together?
Not really.
What is Miro?
A man.
God's favorite champion.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last line Malachi said?
Oh god, I don't remember that clearly, dude.
When you face a god.
They're going with our theory.
See,
Malachi's the next
basically going
TNT
like,
champion.
see what happens when you face a god.
Yeah. Ooh man, I want it. I want it so bad.
Like, to me, that just made me go like, oh, Malachi's gonna go for Miro. Because that's a big thing about Malachi. It's like hubris. It's the guys who think they are above the lowly world. They think they are above other people. And what has Miro been going on week after week? I am above you. I am the best. I am the favorite. I am God's champion. That's prime Malachi takedown. And it would really showcase what Malachi is, the ultimate tweener. Because he'd be going from Cody, a babyface, to Miro, a heel, and be able to be the exact same character bouncing back between the both of them.
It would be. Ooh, that would be a hell of a feud.
Just all of the kicks.
All of the kick. Oh, dude, Machka versus Muay Thai.
Dude, just imagine like they get a jobber in between them, and it's just Machka kick, black mask, Machka kick, black mask, and just like over and over, and everybody's just going like,
God,
"Stop, he's dead."
Fuego's Fuego's not going to get squashed by Miro next week. He's going to get squashed by both of them.
No. Here's what I think is going to happen. Miro is going to fight Fuego. He's going to give it his all, but he's going to lose. Fuego is then going to stand back up, going like, come on, bitch. I can do this all day. Steve Rogers. He's a badass little baby face. And Miro goes like, oh, okay, you want some more? Malachi comes in. He jumps in the ring. Miro and him are facing off. Malachi just black mass. Miro goes like, oh, this is what we're doing? Okay. Kick, kick, kick.
Yeah, that'd be fucking dope. But yeah, wow.
Next up, we have Daniel Garcia with 2.0 versus Darby Allin with the Icon Sting. This was fun. This was a fun match, I think.
It's okay. Wasn't super hype, but it worked.
I liked Daniel Garcia's like ground game. I liked his very wrestly, grapples.
Mm-hmm. He's got a bit of a different style than I'm used to in AEW, and I think that kind of threw me off.
He's a much more of a technician.
He's as they would say in the other place, he's got a Greco-Roman background.
Yeah. Honestly, the major thing that it just made me go like, oh, he's kind of like Daniel Bryan. He has that kind of same tiny dude, but really good at technical grabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else to say though.
No, It's a classic person grounds Darby kind of match.
Yeah, we have to. It's also very much filler. It's just we need something for Darby to do for the next couple weeks so people remember who he is and have him present in their mind when a bomb goes off.
Yeah, but also it is a neat little story arc they're doing with 2.0 going like, you know what? Fuck yeah, we're gonna go up against Darby Allin and fucking Sting. Like, they decided we're gonna put on our big boy pants and we're gonna challenge God.
Yeah. And also I love how after the pin, um, Excalibur, that cheeky masked fucker, just goes, Darby Allin continuing on his quest to become the best in the world.
Should we talk about? Okay, I didn't watch any of the videos, but I saw the thumbnails. I don't know how clickbaity they were about Punk downplaying the rumors he's going to AEW.
I don't remember. I did watch those, or at least I watched the Wrestle Talk one. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of oh yeah, he's in Heels, the Stephen Amell show,
Uh huh.
and he literally said,
Oh, you mean Stephen Amell, Cody Rhodes' friend?
he was literally Punk literally said, I don't know why they're hinting at me being on that show because that show's happening the same night that we've been talking about. We've been talking about doing a screening of the third episode of Heels in a theater in town.
God damn it, Punk! You've been out of the business. You don't know how to work people much anymore.
Yeah.
That feels like a very much like a work.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Like, motherfucker. I've kind of cooled down on the idea that we'll see him tomorrow night, but episode 2 it's definitely happening.
I don't. Who knows? Again, also remember TNT doesn't like surprises on Dynamite because they can't take advantage of it in ratings.
At this point, can you call that a fucking surprise?
To the general public, yeah.
True.
Cause we're in the weeds. We're watching these videos every other fucking day. Your mom
That's
don't
true.
know who's. Your mom don't know CM Punk.
That's true. My mom doesn't know Stone Cold Steve Austin. I had to explain Stone Cold to her back when I was first getting into wrestling.
Well, he's a redneck. He's an alcoholic, and he likes to shake his head a lot.
That's it. That's basically it. You got the whole character down right there, buddy.
And he hates capitalism.
Comrade Austin.
Buddy. Am I wrong with that description?
Not entirely. I'll put it that way. But moving on with Dynamite, we then got a promo from Death Triangle in the back where the Lucha Bros are basically like, yo, have you seen all this shit Andrade's been doing? We should totally fight him. And Penta frickin' says in English, I want to go first. Can I beat him up first, please, please, please? And Pac's like, my boys, I know, I understand everything. Here's a little bit of Spanish. Apparently, I speak Spanish now.
No, the best part, like, Penta says something in Spanish, and then Apergentes comes in and goes like, Penta says, and Pactus goes like, hey, I know my boy. And he speaks Spanish, and it's like, and then he just goes fucking British gangster on the fucking promo.
Yeah, because he's basically like, yeah, no, I'm coming for Andrade. We're going to have a big old match. And that carries through to a later segment that we'll talk about when it happens.
Because he literally says the phrase, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. Which is the most British-ass fucking phrase, like, British gangstery-ass phrase I think I've ever heard.
It's the British equivalent of Eddie Kingston's, you better knuckle up.
Yeah. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough, you know? That kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with his version of an English accent, it just sounds badass.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get some best friends crashing a party. We have the best friends, Taylor, Yuta, and Cassidy with Chris Statlander versus Hardy Party with Matt Hardy and Private Party being the main competitors, with basically the rest of Hardy family organization.
Office.
An office is an organization. Fucker, I'm right.
No, the whole fucking faction comes out, and I'm just like, holy shit, there's a lot of people in this group. Like, they could easily just beat the shit out of all of Best Friends before the match even starts, and nobody could stop them.
But then they wouldn't make the money from the match.
True.
Because they're really getting that down, that they're only in this for money. But they're also, during the match, we have a little scuff between Chris Statlander and Nyla Rose, which is a foreshadowing for the match that's going to be coming up soon.
Yeah.
But this, I realize what the best friends are.
What
They are the rejects of high school. Because you have the stoner, the weirdo one, the former jock, the girl who thinks she's an alien, and the foreign exchange student.
Yeah. That's a really good description.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
Trent's the most normal one there.
And he's not even there this week because he had surgery.
Yeah. And Hardy Party was good. Matt Hardy actually, I wouldn't say he's like top of his game, Matt Hardy, but like he was moving around in a quick fashion. He didn't seem hurt.
No, Matt Hardy is still very spry for a man who's starting to get to the age where you would normally be winding down your career.
Especially with his janky ass legs.
Yeah. Which, makes sense that he's probably trying to keep in tip-top shape so he can keep working and making money for a long time because Rebby's pregnant again.
Dear God!
They have 3 sons, they just had a daughter, and now Rebby's pregnant again.
Jesus fucking Christ, Matt.
Get a hobby.
Oh, buddy. But also, buddy, did you see the beginning of this match? With Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy going back and forth. And Matt Hardy in a crowd with everybody there. Showing that, broken Matt Hardy still fucking works. It just needs people.
Yeah. People love broken Matt Hardy. The people who don't like broken Matt Hardy are internet wrestling critics who are not us.
Because
that's why it didn't get over last time. Because there was no crowds, and all they had to go on was fucking Brian Alvarez going, he teleported. That's so weird. You can't do that. You can't do magic in a wrestling show. Magic in a wrestling show never works.
Mark Callis says hello.
Yeah.
But, no. I part of me goes like, could this be like him testing if he can do Broken Matt again? Because if so, I'm hype. Because fuck yeah, Broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, I would love another broken one. I really, really would.
And if it's against the best friends, all the better.
Oh, hell yeah. And, as we touched on last week, there is an ample opportunity to make that happen coming up in October.
Mm-hmm.
But, moving on, we got a backstage segment of Dasha
we
Gonzalez.
didn't say who won.
Oh, yes.
Matt pins Wheeler Yuta with a Twist of Fate.
Yeah, and it was a really good-looking Twist of Fate, too.
Yeah, it was odd.
But we go backstage. Dasha is talking to Andrade El Idolo and Chavo Guerrero, and they decide to see Pax bet and raise him a pay-per-view. They basically say, all right, you can have your match with Andrade, but it'll be at All Out. And, I I would I would be pretty excited for that. Although I definitely say because of the speed those two guys normally work at or have been working at in like the last year, either make that the opening or the second match on the card.
Yeah, but if they both bring their A game, that'll be a fucking banger ass fucking match.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but next up we have what I basically consider an explanation for why we're getting a redo of Proud and Powerful versus FTR.
Yeah.
Because FTR won and Proud and Powerful basically won a rematch, and they basically go like, "Hey, you tried to finish the match quick, and you took us by surprise because your guy got a cut on his arm and he was fine. Where we're from, he just wrap it up and keep going. Y'all are pussies. Fucking fight us." Which is a fair enough fucking explanation to get a redo, you know?
Yeah. And like here's the thing. I think after this next match, that should be the end of these two groups feuding.
Yeah.
Um, like, and I would say again, either make it the opening match of All Out or make it a mid card spectacular on the go home show for All Out.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, I just realized Rampages are gonna be our go home shows for pay per views now.
Yeah, rampages are going to be super important going forward.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
Yee. Uh, but also didn't Brian Powerful also talk about wanting to go for the belts? So like, they're basically going like, we need to finish this up, and then we're going for the belts.
mhm. And
Uh,
that's great because right now we have three different teams on the road to the belts. We've got Jurassic Express have a match next week. We've got the Lucha Bros getting ready to get their asses in gear, and Proud and Powerful in the same boat as them.
and if you want to technically consider Dark Order still in the chase because of that whole stipulation from the elimination 5-man elimination tag match, by technicality, they're still kind of in contention, just in a weird way. Like
I mean, I
that's part
think
of
they're
the story.
still in the upper part of the rankings. I don't know where exactly.
Right, right, right.
Um, But after that video package, we go back to the ring for the native beast, Nyla Rose, with Vicky Guerrero versus Chris Statlander with the best friends.
The
This is
only
the
Orange Cassidy stays out.
yeah, and like honestly, I really love the addition of best friends to Statlander's entrance because this is the first time since her return she's had her entrance with her theme,
Mm-hmm.
and it just really works having like all of them after because they were all in the last match and they're all like super tired and beat up, but they're like trooping out there with her and they all boop and it's super cute and super badass, especially because the angle going into this match is, oh, Statlander got jumped during the last match, and now Rose is fully set up to win. She's the underdog, but she comes out. She's got this sort of strut and this can do demeanor, and she pulls it out after a short but solid match. Statlander pins Rose after an Area 451. And yeah, I really like this match.
And isn't it implied that that puts her in like the number 1 or number 2 position in the women's roster
I think
in the
I think
rankings?
so. I don't know if they explicitly said that, but I think that was supposed to be implied because I saw a number of reviewers yesterday, or today rather, saying that she's probably going to be Britt's next big challenger.
Which would be nice. It's good. It's good to see Chris Statlander in that position. Like
Yeah,
people were going like, "Oh, who's Britt Baker gonna face?" And then they go like, "Oh, here's like 5 different people, all ready and willing to go." Here's That's a big thing with AEW. I think we're kind of figuring out and getting into that groove. Is that it? Very like a lot of divisions are very ebb and flow.
yeah, and there's already so many people in this company that it's easy if you're not paying close attention to forget about people. Like people constantly go like, "Oh, where's the women's roster? What is the women's roster doing? How is there even a storyline for the women's title?" Yeah, there's tons of people trying to get up in the rankings and get towards the women's title. It's just all that is happening on Dark and Elevation.
Yeah. And once Rampage is probably going to be more on Rampage or going to be on Dynamite and Rampage, mix of both and all that kind of stuff. You don't want Rampage just to be like, we couldn't fit it on Dynamite here kind of thing. You want it to be a little bit more planned.
Yeah, I get the feeling they're going to try and, with these first 2 episodes, send the message that this is going to be a very important show and big stuff will be happening on it, because we'll go over it, of course, at the appropriate time. But every match on that opening show tomorrow is going to be for a title, and then of course there's there's some color that's very much alive that might be involved with episode 2.
Jesus Christ. Part of me wants some heel on AEW to just troll the crowd.
Like do the Dolph Ziggler theme?
Like full on, look in my eyes. And everybody goes like, God, CM Punk. Which we also had a CM Punk chant.
Mm-hmm. We did have that, I believe. Was that during the Elite promo?
Yes, the early Elite promo.
Mm-hmm. Which, any other time, I'm sick of CM Punk chants and I don't want to hear them. But AEW crowds, man, they know when to do shit and when not to do shit.
Because it was also right after Don Callis said, like, man, there's nobody good enough here. And then everybody was like, CM Punk, he's coming, bitch, because he's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think at one point there was... It was hard to hear, but I think at one point during the show there was a yes chant.
But, we then go to a backstage Young Bucks promo basically saying, like, yo, Jurassic Express, this is going to be easy. It's like a layup. And they're continuing the basketball metaphors that they've been for the past few weeks as they go for a basketball layup. And then Luchasaurus comes in, just pops it out of their hand. Jungle Boy comes in, dunks the ball, and just goes like, all right, see you next week.
Yeah, very, very simple but well done promo.
And then Luchasaurus did the thing from the dude from the commercial from the NBA.
Yeah. But then we got a couple things, and I guess I'll do these next 2 things back to back because they very much go with each other. We got a video package for Britt Baker versus Red Velvet, basically getting Red Velvet's perspective on things, why she thinks she's a worthy challenger and is going for the belt and all that. Very, very solid little promo stuff from Red, and just kind of reminded me why I liked her, because aside from her challenging last week or the week before that, we haven't really seen much of Red on Dynamite since she got beaten by, Muscles Mommy.
Fuck, Jade Cargill.
Yeah, since she got beaten by Jade.
I'm surprised you didn't go Mommy Dommy.
I mean, that would have been much more appropriate, and I will start using that in the future, but it just didn't come to me. I have two moods, gentle and so strong they could break me in half. I'm sorry. Yeah, saw a little video package about Red, and then we go out to the ring for Britt Baker to come out and talk to Tony Schiavone and basically go like, hey, Pittsburgh, I'm from Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh. Look at my Pittsburgh gear. Hey, got a Pittsburgh towel. We're going to wave it like you would at a football game for some fucking reason, even though this is a wrestling show. Pittsburgh, yeah. I don't know where Reba is, but Pittsburgh.
We don't have many champions, so I'll be your champion. Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. That was... I got the feeling that that was supposed to get her heel heat, but because it's hometown, they let her have it.
Yeah, it felt very much more of like, hey, we've been having a rough year, local sports teams, so guess what? I'm claiming this for us. It felt like a babyface move to me.
Mm-hmm.
Which, also, Florida's taking care of the Stanley Cup Penguins. We're taking care of it. Don't worry about the big old dent we gave it.
Oh my god.
No, well, did you ever see that?
I don't give a shit about hockey, dude.
Okay, but you know the Stanley Cup. The big silver thing they give the hockey players who win.
Yeah, that's like their Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. It's a big important trophy. It's a lot of history. It's been around since 1900s, like
Mhm.
early 1900s, 1910, 1911, that kind of thing. So very important, very prestigious trophy. So the Tampa Bay Lightning were fucking around with it, and they threw it off a fucking building and dented it in half. Mind you, they were drunk.
Why do people give jocks anything that's fragile ever? Like, why are jocks allowed to have children? I I genuinely want an answer.
Also,
Just
remember,
fucking hell.
they were Russian drunk because they're Russian dudes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because there's a bunch of just loading teams in the NHL right now, isn't there?
What do you mean?
I think I think Bill Burr has gone on a couple rants about that on his podcast about like they're doing the thing of just signing people to their teams who aren't even from the state, who are just like super good at hockey and stacking the deck.
That's the way it's always fucking been. That's not anything new. It's been that way since the fucking 70s.
Yeah, but Bill Burr grew up in like the late '60s and early '70s, so he hates that shit. He's like that's it's not the way they did it when I was a kid, and he's gone on a couple rants like that.
Fucking Wayne Gretzky didn't live in the place where he fucking in the oil wherever the fucking Oilers play. I don't remember. He didn't fucking was born there. He was born somewhere else.
Okay, dude, I was just trying to relate an experience to kind of be in the conversation. I'm not here to go to bat for Bill Burr's shitty opinions.
But Britt Baker basically goes like, "Yo, I'm cool. We're in the hometown. Cheer me."
And that's one thing I'll give AEW always is like they fucking understand somebody's in their hometown. Doesn't matter if they're a heel, they're a babyface, and they're going over tonight.
Yeah, but they also work it into their current character. Like when Lance Archer's in Texas, he's still Lance Archer, but they basically give him a bunch of jobbers so he can be a big badass. Britt Baker is still Britt Baker, but she's talking to people like it's like finally people who understand me, kind of Britt Baker.
Sammy's in a match in Texas. Okay, he gets a match that's kind of a filler match, but he goes over in a cool way, and then he gets an awesome run in later in the show.
Yeah,
It's it's very adequate excrement, as Vincent Kennedy McMahon would say.
Speaking of adequate, we had a very classic style promo off between Starks and Cage. Just basically going like, oh, I'm going to beat your ass. No, I'm going to beat your ass. We're going to beat each other's ass? Fine. Beat each other's ass.
I literally don't remember this at all. Like I wrote this down on the card, and I don't remember any actual lines from this promo. That's how generic it was.
I remember Cage said a thing, I know you're lying because your lips are moving, which is like, how many people have said that before?
Yeah. Man,
Ricky's-
remember when Team Taz was one of our favorite things?
I mean, I still like Taz. I still like Ricky. I still like Cage. I just go like, they could be doing something more.
Uh-huh.
Also, Hook's a meme on Reddit.
What?
Like, on the AEW official subreddit. Like, it's called the official. It's not official. But, like, that subreddit, which is where I go to for AEW discussion. Hook's just, like, a meme. They just love Hook.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't noticed that, even though I'm subscribed to that subreddit.
It's often in the comments, not in the posts.
Oh, okay.
If there's if the post has something related to Hook, they go like, "Fucking Hook, he's going over."
See, I'm the kind of guy, it doesn't matter what website it's on. I only ever read comments to check and see if somebody has said something like what I'm about to comment.
It's very self-serving.
Well, I just don't want to be making a redundant post. That's why I don't comment a lot because oftentimes I'll go, somebody should say this because it might help answer this question. And then I'll scroll down and like five people have already said it.
But should I talk about the Dark Order?
Yeah, why don't you have this one?
So the Dark Order, Uno and Grayson with Colt Cabana coming out, and only Colt Cabana coming out.
I like that they're keeping up with BTE in the commentary, talking about how there's a rift in the group right now.
Versus the Good Brothers with Brandon Cutler and Scott D'Amore's on commentary. Well, hey,
Yeah, he didn't add a lot, but it was just nice to have him here.
he added the idea that Impact is paying attention, and this isn't just AEW giving him a bone. It's Impact is sanctioning this. The referee's an Impact referee. The referee was wearing an Impact shirt. Like this was
It's been slowly. Go ahead. Sorry.
This was an Impact match on an AEW show.
Yeah, I like how it's been slowly ramping up, and I know a lot of people have complained about it not feeling as big as it should because of that, but like I feel like we're finally at the point where it really does feel like almost all of the major non WWE promotions are now working together. And like you watch Dynamite, and it's like watching. It's the wrestling equivalent of fucking Thor Ragnarok. Like you get your Doctor Strange cameo, you get Hulk hanging out with Thor, you get lead into Avengers. There's all this shit going on, but it still feels like this character's story.
Yeah. It's I wouldn't even call it like that. It's like reading Hellfire Gala.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's an individual character story, but hey, there's Nightcrawler. What's Nightcrawler doing here? Why is he drunk? Oh, that's why he's drunk. Sadness.
Bro, this is a total non sequitur, but I fucking I ordered a transformer off of Amazon a few weeks ago, and it just got delivered today.
Uh-huh.
According to my mom, it was there when she got home from work because she gets home from work like 4 hours before I do right now. Amazon only just now sent me a notification on my phone saying it was delivered.
Good lord.
God damn it, Bezos.
Bezos, you're late. How dare you? Because Bezos does everything at Amazon, doesn't he? That's how he can justify being a billionaire?
Yeah, that's how he can justify being a billionaire and paying everyone way less because he does so much work himself. That Jeff Bezos, he's really earned every penny he has. And, it's totally justified that he wastes it on ridiculous self-serving ventures like going to space.
And not even going to space for, like, the betterment of mankind. Just going to space for himself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Should we put a sarcasm warning to all of that?
I mean, let me just say, because obviously I just shit all over Jeff Bezos after saying I bought something from him, essentially. I only use Amazon when it's convenient. Like, I have a wish list on there, but I don't tell people to buy stuff off my wish list anymore because I want to help Jeff Bezos as little as humanly possible. I only use Amazon when it's the most convenient option.
I mean, he's basically Lex Luthor.
Yeah. And before anybody shares that god awful article saying that he was the inspiration for MCU Iron Man, Elon Musk is fucking Justin Hammer. I forgot his first name for a split second.
Yeah. No, you know who the fucking inspiration for Tony Stark is? It's the dude who fucking became like a germaphobe recluse who built airplanes. Mm-hmm. Back in the 60s. I can't remember his name. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Vaguely. I that fact is in my mind, but I can't at all figure out what it's connected to.
And in the 80s, he looked like a Hall from Hall & Oates.
Yeah, you've told me about this guy. But that's comic shit. Let's get back to wrestling
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. If you want some of that, tune in on Mondays or Wednesday this week.
Uh, we haven't actually said anything about the actual match yet. How'd you feel about the match?
I really enjoyed Uno and Grayson. I thought they were dope. Good Brothers were good, sounding like punching bags for them.
Mm-hmm.
But the
It
Good
was,
Brothers winning at the end made sense.
yeah, it was an okay match, but it was very much just a standard. Like the whole match, the match was presented well, but the actual structure of the match felt like, oh, this is obligatory. We had to do this match because one of you guys pinned one of us in a different match.
And we want to keep
Um,
things like consistent and kayfabe, but also it gives us a match that we can fill in time for a week.
mhm.
It's quick, easy storytelling, which is something wrestling loves to kind of like lean onto, you know?
Yeah. Uh, but then we got a video pack. Oh, fucking good brothers go over with a magic killer.
Yeah.
Um, but then we got a video package introducing the AEW audience to Camille, which was fun and exciting because as somebody who's actually watched a good bit of NWA, it's the first time I've heard Camille speak.
Oh
For
God.
for a very long time they did not let her talk. Like she was the China to Nick Aldis's Triple H for a while there.
Oh right, I
Like
remember. It was like actual part of the gimmick, not like, oh, we don't want her to talk. It was, no, this is a character thing we're doing with her.
mhm.
Like this is a
But
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. She gave a solid promo here, introduced herself pretty well, and got everybody decently up to speed about what's going on in the NWA Women's Division, which is not much aside from her being the champion, but that's because of COVID.
I
Because
think
they
there's a
did.
lot of women's division other than the WWE because they had everybody in house already.
Mhm. They had a really solid women's division though, leading up to COVID, and WA did, and also they're heavily involved in the inter. Actually, I think they're the ones funding it. They're heavily involved in the interpromotional independent women's pay per view. Nikki James is putting on.
Okay, cool.
Uh, and so this is probably building towards that on some level. Like, I'm sure this match between Camille and Layla Hirsch is going to be on Power, but that might lead into something with either them or someone else from AEW and Camille on that very pay per view.
Do you remember
This
how
kind of
good Camille's in the ring?
She's solid. She very much wrestles like a big person. She has that kind of slow but strong big person style.
Because I was just thinking, just pure visual, Camille versus Jade Cargill.
That would be very interesting because even though she is very tall, I don't think of Jade as a big wrestler because she's a lot quicker than her size would suggest.
Well, I mean, she was also a basketball player. That's a big thing.
Yeah,
But I was just
but
going like, oh, tall woman, tall women, tall women.
then you just you put on that Steven Universe song.
No, no, no. You just put that in front of all the fucking simps on the internet and they'll go mad. Except you. You gotta give you a short blonde. Oh, hey, Layla Hirsch!
Now, see, that's the thing. I like short, petite blondes, and I like literally any massive women who are very muscly. Like I am literally the furthest two extremes, and I don't like anything in the middle.
But I was just more making a joke, you see.
I
The
know. I
joke
just
is that
like
there
to,
is a tiny blonde woman also in this hypothetical feud we're booking
and
in
I
our
have
head.
constantly referred to her as wrestling Supergirl.
Yes, 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 yes.
Um, but like
Who
the
would be
thing is,
wrestling Magic? Chris Statlander?
at the moment, it's Alexa Bliss, honestly, with the way her gimmick is going and whatnot.
Hmm, 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 hmm,
Uh,
hmm, hmm.
Which is weird because I don't even find Alexa Bliss that attractive. Like, there's a shit ton of Alexa Bliss simps, and I'm like, she doesn't look bad, but she looks very supermodel attractive, and I'm not into supermodel attractive.
No, you're into super. Because you fucking love Clark Kent.
Are you gonna talk about fucking Shivani and Marshall or what?
Tony Schiavone goes like, "Hey, QT, apologize to me," and QT goes like, "Nah, bitch. Look, here's your son. He wants to wrestle. Oh, we'll fucking do some wrestle to him. Well, apologize to me, bitch." And he goes like, "I'm fucking sorry." And then Paul White goes like, "Oh, nah, mate. Nah, mate. Nah, mate. Nah, mate."
No. Dude, Paul White goes, "What?" I'll show you an apology.
And he just stares at QT the entire time going like, "Yep."
Well, he's freaking holding Aaron Solo like a baby child.
I like this version of Paul White. He seems badass.
Like, especially with that new theme song, because like, we've talked before. It took them a while. Paul White has had 3 different theme songs in AEW so far, and the first 2 really felt like placeholders.
I mean, one of them was the theme for AEW Dark
Revolution.
Revolution. I was about to say Revelations.
But
that's not Matrix.
No, this is a new one that's performed by the same guy who sang his last WWE theme. And they worked in the well, but instead of having it open with the well, first you get like these 3 really badass guitar riffs, and like, I listened to the full version because they put it up the next day. Like, it was up this morning. And it has some really solid lyrics, honestly. Like, it's really good at illustrating where his current character is. And genuinely, it feels like the perfect theme for him if he's going to come back as a wrestler, which is basically what this is suggesting. I'm pretty sure this is... Paul White is going to squash the shit out of QT at All Out, and I'm here for it.
Very possible, very possible. But that's about it for this thing. Also, hey, Chris Schiavone might be a wrestler soon.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
He looks cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, he took the bump well.
You know who he fucking reminded me of?
Is he in the Nightmare Factory?
Not that I know of. But
okay.
You know who he reminded me of? Because I'd never seen this guy before tonight. He looks like Bert Kreischer. The comedian.
I'll drop some DVDs.
Let me get you an image of this guy.
I dropped my Matrix DVD. It's all 4 movies.
No, I hate it when Google loads someone and at first images in one spot, but then it moves.
Hold on. Because
I
can't look at the photo with your video feed up on the stream. Well, it's a poop show.
He looked like this guy with a bigger beard.
Oh, yeah. That dude.
Yeah.
The shirtless Russian mafia dude.
Yeah, the machine.
That's not Brian Cage.
Har, 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 har. But should we go over next week's lineup?
Tell it to me, bitch. Tell it to me.
So tomorrow night on the premiere episode of Rampage, we will be getting Omega versus Page for the Impact World title. Miro versus Fuego del Sol for the TNT title. Britt Baker versus Red Velvet for the women's title. And I'm assuming, because Rampage is only an hour show, that's the entire card with maybe some backstage bits in between.
Yeah, I can see that. The way you have it written, it looks like Baker the Velvet.
Yeah, and like the reason I had to pause when I got to that point is I read it, and even though I barely know who the fucker is. Like, I don't watch football, but for some reason my mind auto-corrected to Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
But then next Wednesday on Dynamite, your current slate is Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. Sean Spears versus Sammy Guevara with a major announcement from Sammy towards the end of the match. My guess, he's going to propose to his girlfriend in the ring. Um, and Darby Allin and Sting versus 2.0. We're going to get to see Sting wrestle on Dynamite next week.
Hell yeah! But it's also against two guys that are comedy goobers, so it might just be a fun, goofy match and not anything legit and serious.
True.
I'm not saying not to be excited. I'm saying like that. Fun, goofy Sting is fun Sting. It's a fun, goofy Sting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, remember, the early part of Sting's career was him doing a character that was basically, what if the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan were the same person?
But also calmer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if Ultimate Warrior was a stoner? Then the energy level would be at a normal person.
Surprised there hasn't been a Marvel what if meme in conjunction with the new show of just like ridiculous ways to describe other characters. And like if there was, I would definitely make that for Sting in Photoshop right now.
But shall we talk about the main event of the evening? Because the demo god, Chris Jericho, versus Warlord with Mujaf.
And it was Labors of Jericho, Chapter 4. War.
Who is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again!
Nah.
Okay.
This match, honestly, except for the ending, wasn't much to write home about. But I say that because a lot of the match was just Jericho giving as much as he possibly could to Wardlow.
Yeah. I realized something with the Labors. This was to put, the two in the middle were done for oh, cool, let's just do something fun and goofy. But the first one and this last one were done purely to get Wardlow and Sean Spears more over with the crowd.
Mm-hmm. It was to show people what Sean Spears really is now. And then they spent 2 weeks building up Jericho again so that they could transfer all of that momentum onto Wardlow. And I don't know if they succeeded, honestly, because the reactions to this feud have been pretty lukewarm as the weeks have gone on. But I think it's a solid booking theory. And, I already like Wardlow. So seeing Wardlow get any kind of, good energy is always something I'm about, especially because they finally did something new with him, where usually Wardlow has a fairly even match with somebody, and then at the last second, MJF tosses in the ring and he beats them. This time, Wardlow fucking dominated Jericho until Jericho started getting the upper hand. MJF tossed in the ring, Aubrey caught it, and kicked MJF out of the arena.
If MJF hadn't cheated, Wardlow might have won this match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of thing. But Jericho does win after using Floyd.
Yeah, because who ran out with Floyd? Was that Sammy?
I don't think we saw who brought out Floyd. I think Floyd was just there.
Oh, yeah. Because then, after the match, there's a big old Pinnacle beatdown with Sammy and then Jake, after a little bit, running out to make the save.
Yep.
And while all of it is going on, MJF says, yeah, we've known since the beginning, people who aren't paying attention, we've known since the beginning that I would be the fifth and final labor if you made it there. But I never said what the stipulation for the match would be, Chris. You're not going to be able to use the Judas effect. That move that has always saved your ass since you started in this company, you can't use it against me next week or whenever this match is happening. And in addition to that, you're not going to get to use any Judas iconography. Judas will not be playing during your entrance for your match with me, which is just the most ingenious heel thing MJF has done in a while.
I kinda hope the crowd memorizes the lyrics and sing it anyway.
I think that's what they're banking on. I think they're banking on like Jericho getting this huge baby face. They like me. They really like me moment with him coming out sad and dejected, and then the crowd starts up with acapella Judas.
Yeah. Maybe have like a couple plants in there to kind of help push the crowd in the right direction.
Maybe have the rest of, well, they can't because that was something MJF added to the stipulations early on, but maybe have the inner circle guys be in the crowd.
It's very possible. There's things you can do. There's ways to do it.
But
Yeah, that's wrestling.
that was the whole Dynamite. We did it. We did wrestling, everybody. It's done for another week. Congratulations.
We won. Speed run. Hashtag
Yeah.
no cheat. Any percent run.
It's been a
Five
it's
dicks
been a
un-
very
5 out of 6 dicks uncovered.
it's been a very up and down week in wrestling, and really in all media that I consume. This week has been pretty all over the place. Like, oh boy, is No Prize going to be interesting this week? I'll say.
Oh.
Let me just preemptively ask: did you hear what happened with Tim Drake this week?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. I thought it was an okay week on the whole. Very solid episode of Dynamite. But like I said, it's been a kind of consistent problem with Dynamite recently. Is just the best match has been at the beginning, like the last 3 weeks in a row.
Also, I just realized something. Tim Drake. Bobby Drake.
Ooh.
That's just a weird coincidence.
Heck of a conspiracy theory you got going there.
We'll explain what the fuck that means on Monday on No Price Podcast.
Because I guess because I'm not reading that series. I guess I got to put that in as like a news story.
Yeah. But this is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast, where we talk about wrestling. So we have other podcasts, such as No Price Podcast, where we talk about the MCU and comic books in general. You can check that out on Mondays. We also have Twit, where Vac and Buster talk about Tokusatsu. It's on Tuesdays. And we have Components, which is on Fridays, where we just shoot the fucking shit.
We shot a lot of shit this week.
Oh, yeah. And I also looked cool with sunglasses that said that with the reflection of Sega logo on them.
Yeah, I'm so glad we have that image now.
Sega.
Yeah, everybody, check out all the modular stuff. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good shit. And,
Tell people about your shit.
I'm back.
Tell me about your shit.
Do you want me to do that joke again? Because
tell me about your stuff.
Like it a lot the first time. Okay, thank you.
Tell me about your junk.
That'll get us removed from YouTube. You really want me to pull a Chip Zdarsky?
Fucking plug your asshole.
Are you trying, dear? Like, god damn. Okay. Everybody, go to my channel. It's youtube.com/thevacumminator. THEVACUUMINATOR. I make toy videos. I'm going through a bit of a. There's a thing happening creatively that's gonna change up the flow. You'll see what I'm talking about come this Wednesday when I put out my next video, because my latest video is a pretty standard review of the G.I. Joe classified series Zartan that I'll admit it's doing surprisingly well. Typically, the only one of my videos that gets any kind of momentum after its first day going up is when I do Power Rangers Lightning Collection reviews. This one slowed down a little bit in its second day, but it's actually gotten like I think 20 more views today, which is really exciting. And got a good bit of comment engagement. So, if you want to be a part of that, go check out my review of the new G.I. Joe Classified Series Zartan. And follow me on the social media at the Back Even Air on Twitter. And same thing, but with an underscore in between those two words on Instagram.
Hey, howdy. I'm Chris Boingo Writer Gaston, and I make video essay and editorials on Boingo Writer on YouTube. You can find me. You know how YouTube works. I am also on Twitter and on Instagram at Boingo_writer. I have things in the works. Multiple things in the works.
How are those things coming? We haven't talked about that in a little while.
I need to build a promo thing, and that's that I just haven't had the time to do it, to like sit down and record the footage I need for it.
All right.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's that. I have been working on writing the Hamtaro thing a lot more.
Yeah. Okay, that's exciting. I hadn't heard you talk about that in a while, actually.
Yeah. Got to organize a little bit more in my writing. Got stuff written down. Yeah.
And I hope everybody enjoyed that little preview of modular components. If you're for some reason listening to MMWP but not modular components, there's your little advertisement, your incentive to go listen, because you get more discussions like that.
Hell yeah. But in the meantime, if you're listening to this on YouTube, hey, go like and subscribe. If you're listening to this on podcast and platform, hey, you fucking follow us there.
Leave a review.
Just don't follow us in real life. That'd be creepy. Very creepy.
Yeah,
except you can follow Vac. You'd probably enjoy that.
Would you?
I said
Vac. Not that interesting. What?
I just realized I kind of look a little bit like Eggman in the stream.
Very slightly.
Sonic!
Hey, Idris Elba's Knuckles. How about that?
What is this, a motherfucking Suicide Squad, Sonic?
I want to go to bed.